So then here we are on day 2 and I have made a little bit of progress without you. As you'll see just over here, all the rail is now on. The couplers that were missing yesterday I have put on this morning, and then if we look out onto this roof, the rail is on there also. We've got our oval conduits through, so the oval conduits come out underneath a roof tile, through a lap in the felt and into the loft. What that allows us to do is run our DC cables out onto the roof with no chance of them chafing. We can then secure them back to the rails with some zip ties, which we'll show you when we get to that. Next jobs now are to get our PV Ultra from downstairs up into the loft, stripped so we can split our 2 strings, one for this roof, one for that roof, and then we can put some MC4 plugs on them, and we can actually this afternoon start to get some panels on. So here it is then, 4-core PV Ultra. We have 2 reds, 2 whites, so 2 positives, 2 negatives, and that allows us to run 2 strings up to the roof in 1 cable. First time I've used the 4-core stuff, but dead easy to strip. You can strip it with just the PV Ultra tool. They actually make a red one that says PV Ultra also. I have this one. But we'll pull some of this up into the loft, split it out for our rear string and our side string. They are distinguishable. Don't know if you'll see that, but one of them has dotted lines on it. The other one does not. So we can do string 1, string 2. It also has, which I know a lot of people have already said, but it does have the warning labels already printed on. So probably the best thing to happen to the solar industry since Solar Skirt, in my opinion. So this is just down the side of the house, and this is where our battery and our inverter is going to live. Our board is just up the other side of here, which is actually above our meter cabinet. So we need to get a cable in that soffit up here, and then we will clip it straight down this wall and into our inverter, which will live roughly here. There we are then, there is our PV Ultra. It runs all the way up, and up there it runs into the soffit. So what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to put some clips on that, clip it down all the way, put an isolator on, bottom entry, and then when our inverter goes on here, we'll be able to connect into the inverter nice and easy. This is where our cables come out onto the rear, and as you can see we have a positive and the negative. And just because I'm not going to get panels on here tonight, I have plugged them together until Monday when we can. Here we have it then. This roof is now ready to go. As you can see, all of the rail is on, and our PV Ultra comes out just over there. A red for positive, a white for negative, and then the correct MC4 plugs on this end, which on the roof is the opposite to what you want at the end. So on the roof, the positive receives a negative plug and the negative receives a positive plug, because then when you get to the other end, they are the correct polarity for plugging into the inverter. Here we have it then. This roof is also ready, and this is our southwest roof. All the rails are on, and as you'll be able to see just over the top of there, our cables are out also for this one. So on this one we have used the red and white, but without the stripe marks on them, out of our 4-core. We still need, you might be able to tell from here, some short bits of rail just to extend it all the way across to get our panels on. The bits that I brought are actually about that much too short, so that is a little bit of a shame, but I don't think we'll get to that today anyway. That can be a tomorrow job. So it is time to get some panels on the roof. So what do we use? We use these window suckers, stick them on the front of the panel, and then it gives you something to carry them up the ladder safely. No chance of scratching the panels, more than secure. Easily the best way to do it rather than ropes, pulleys, everything, especially when you're on your own. So our panels are just over here. We'll get them up and then we'll get the first 6 onto the roof. Here we go. So once we get a couple of panels up, which as you can see, they're just here, I try and only bring maybe 2 or 3 up at a time, just in case they do fall over while they are on the scaffold. We can then start to get them on the roof. Easiest way of doing it is just not to be scared of them. Yes, they are roughly 21 kilos each, but pick them up, lay them down, plug them in, tighten them up. Once you get the knack down, it is not as bad as people make out. There you go. Like I said, they're not as bad as you think to get on. Once you can pick them up and you're comfortable in moving them around, you're perfectly fine to do them. What I like to do is get one clamp just to stay snugged up. That way it's not going to slide, not going to move around on the roof. We can then try and square it up just by eye. Normally 9 times out of 10 you will find the side of the roof or the bottom along the gutter isn't square anyway. You are better off just eyeballing them. We will measure it as well just to make sure, but you will probably find you get a better, more accurate by eye than you do physically measuring it. So we'll eyeball this one up, fix it down, and then we can put this one on with some mid clips next to it, and then we have just 4 more on this roof to finish it. What goes on the middle of the panels is what is known as a mid clip. Our panel sits under here, so end clips on the end, mid clips in the middle, T30 Torx to tighten them up, and then it is, like I say, rinse and repeat. So we will get this panel on, and then we will get the other 4 up, and we'll get the rest of them all on and finished, at least for this roof. Here we go then, panel number 2. Obviously, remember, these are just a normal string system, so they're not solar edge. So we're not plugging into optimizers, we are plugging panels directly into each other. Don't forget to plug them in. It's not that I've ever done that, obviously. Get them pushed nice and close together, up and tight to the clamps. Get that bottom edge lined up, snug a clamp down, and then go and put the top clamp in. Easy as. Oh, and while you're up here, pull the cardboard off the corners. That's it. We'll get the other 4 panels on, and then we'll finish the roof. So I have made a bit of a decision. As you will know, we have finished this roof over here. I'll show you that. There you go, look. That is 6 panels on there, looking lovely. What my decision is unfortunately I haven't got enough rail for the very far end This morning I did bring some short bits that I thought would have been long enough, but they're not. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 6 on, put the end clamps on, and then we only leave some short bits of rail and 2 panels to go on. It's Friday today, Monday morning, and then that will see the back roof done. So stick you back on there where you already are. What we'll do then is we'll leave you there. You can follow along, watch them go on, and then we will call that for today. We've just ordered the solar skirt for delivery on Monday, so that will be with us for then. So Monday's jobs will be 2 short pieces of, well, 4 pieces of rail over there and 2 panels to go on, and then we can solar skirt both arrays, and that sees our roof work complete.